Hello Earth Souls, welcome to my channel Sky Above, Earth Below. My name is Renee and you're watching a timeless collective reading for the new moon in Capricorn, January 2nd, 2022. So although this reading captures the energies of this time, you can actually watch it whenever the universe presents it to you and you feel intuitively drawn to. Although the new moon is in the sign of Capricorn, you don't need to be Capricorn for this reading to apply to you. This reading is for all astrological signs collectively. If you're new to working with the lunar cycles, just know that the energies are a powerful and practical way to create your desired life. The energies of the new and full moons, as well as the waxing and waning phases, can help you to manifest your dreams and desires, and also to release things no longer positively serving you. And also, it's just a great way to incorporate meaning and ritual into your life. So at the new moon, we recognize the beginning of a lunar cycle, so it's a particularly powerful time for setting new intentions. And you can write down these intentions, you can say them, you can visualize them, you can use them in ritual or spell work, or bring them about in any number of ways that feels meaningful to you. And there is a lot online about moon manifestations, so I encourage you to find a way to connect with the moon in simple or elaborate ways, but particularly in a way that allows you to do so regularly. So what is the main energy of this new moon in Capricorn, January 2nd, 2022? We're looking for the main energies. Main energy for this new moon, January 2nd, 2022. What is the main energy of this new moon, January 2nd, 2022. Thank you. So, willing release. What I'm getting from this is a time to let go with a sense of peace. So there's a willingness to release something because you've been through the difficulty of having to make peace with the release. So sometimes it's really hard to let go. And with the new moon, it's I find it particularly interesting that we're getting this release because usually we would associate the full moon with the willing release. But you can release at any phase of the moon. It's not that you can't do that. It's just that I feel like because we are doing a release at the new moon, that maybe there's a part of this release that you are either needing to do or wanting to do where there is a sense of resistance. So at the new moon, when we're manifesting a release, it might be in the way that we're needing to sort of start that idea, like almost plant that idea in our mind, because at the new moon we are setting new intentions. We're planting the seeds of something we want to see happen. And so in that way, we are looking at something that hasn't yet manifested, hasn't yet grown into fruition. So with a willing release at the new moon, we are planting the seeds for this willingness. And with the dandelion seeds, you know how they blow in the wind and then they scatter and they plant somewhere and then, they plant for future growth. And that's what I feel is happening here. So there is something on your mind or weighing on your heart that is needing release, and the idea of releasing it is something that either may be of interest to you or that you would like to start maybe wrapping your head around, wrapping your heart around. This release with the butterfly is going to bring about profound change. So there's a sense of needing to make peace with something that is difficult to let go. And with the number 49 adding up to 13 and reducing to 4, for me, that, the number 4 it corresponds with stability, home life, practical needs, harmony. So the change that is needing to be released, or the thing that is needing to be released, feels like something related to home life or family or some kind of aspect of your stability and practical life. So I'm going to get some tarot for clarification. Clarifying this new moon energy with a new moon, January 2nd, 2022. What is the collective energy for this new moon? Clarifying willing release. What is the collective energy for this new moon, January 2nd, 2022? Thank you. What is the energy of this new moon, January 2nd, 2022? I'm going to just take one, please. One card, please. Clarifying 8 of Pentacles. Clarifying Knight of Swords. All right. So back of the deck energy, King of Cups. All right, so what I'm getting here is the release feels like, to me, a spiritual calling. With the Hierophant clarifying this being in the center of your reading, it feels kind of like, the saying, let go and let God. It feels to me like there's some sort of life purpose, a soul mission, something that is calling you. I don't see any wands energy here, but I'm really feeling a lot of creativity in this reading, a sense of being called to do something that is passionate, something that you have potentially had your eye on. And with the Hierophant being a passionate, I associate with the wands energy, spirituality. It feels like needing to give in, sort of, to an inner sense of, to a sense of inspiration, to a sense of what is drawing your soul, what is calling to you. That might be difficult in the sense that it feels like there's maybe even a business aspect to this, something that you want to do, like a spiritual business, or some kind of spiritual calling where you may not see the path forward, you may not have the ideas of exactly what it is you want to do, but there's an inspiration behind it. You know you want to do something. I feel like there is a sense of urgency to do this with the Knight of Swords. And that reason could be different for each of you. But with the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords, and to me that feels almost like a leveling up, almost like bringing the urgency down a notch so that it's a more calm, a more resolved inner feeling. So maybe there is a little bit of anxiety about making a change that brings you towards your calling. Releasing and surrendering to a spiritual calling may be really difficult given family expectations, societal norms, just depending on how you are thinking about putting yourself out into the world in this way. Maybe not having a plan yet, or having to decide just between sort of a quote-unquote normal life versus a spiritual life. Maybe especially if you plan on being outward with it, if you're going to have a spiritually based business or something that feels, even if it's not outright spiritual, it could be just something that is potentially a little bit counterculture, but that is really powerful, includes leadership with the Hierophant. So we're looking at somebody who's a teacher, a wise person, potentially a spiritual leader, somebody who provides structure for others, giving into the anxiety of it, maybe making a plan. If there is uncertainty about how to go forward, or just uncertainty about the decision to do so, there could be a need to release that uncertainty, the anxiety about leveling up yourself. So with the Willing Release card and the Dandelions, I get a really soft feeling from this. And so I feel like the guidance here is to allow it to occur naturally, just like the seeds of a dandelion spread. They spread at the whim of nature, with the cycle of nature, at nature's own pace. And so having giving yourself compassion for the time it might take, or the things you might need to learn, or the things that you feel uncomfortable sharing and having to come to terms with that. Taking it slow and allowing yourself to unfold in a natural way, just like the butterfly would take its time creating itself within the cocoon before releasing. So when it's time to make your debut, as the butterfly would, coming out of its cocoon, you've done a lot of work already on yourself. A lot of insular work that is done within, and almost like I'm getting hermit energy, sort of by yourself. As spiritual work is, it's an inward journey. So you wouldn't expect the butterfly to just, spring about in one day. It takes growth and personal development. And you will know when the time is ready, when the time is right to emerge. And so maybe releasing some of the pressure to do things quickly. There might be, outside pressures that are wanting you to align with this sooner than later. Those kinds of things you'll just need to prioritize, but allowing yourself to do it in a natural way, so that it's done correctly, so that it is done when the time is right. And maybe so that you even buy yourself some time before having to decide to do this. There could be time for you to work on this while you're working on other things, and giving yourself time to develop before deciding to allow a release of yourself to the world. I'm getting entrepreneurship here. And mainly just because I'm getting a lot of creative energy from this, a lot of spiritual energy, a lot of solo energy. So it doesn't feel to me like this is, the next step up as a manager. It feels more like some sort of personal calling, some kind of a dream or internal, what is the word I'm looking for? It's almost like something you knew about yourself all along, finally deciding to bring that out into the world. And that might seem really scary. It might excite your inner child, just like children blow on the dandelions to make wishes. It feels like that kind of energy. And if it does to me, and if it feels like that to you, just know that is when you're developing your intuition and your discernment, having, knowing the difference between a jittery stomach versus butterflies in your stomach, kind of discerning like what you're receiving a sign, that your intuition is telling you something, but what is it? If you have a sense of excitement, expansion, something that feels like you're nervous maybe about it, but you are also really like in your dream life, you would feel like really good about this. That expansive energy is only for your highest good. When it feels constrictive or nervous or fear-based, something that makes you feel small, or those kinds of energies, those kinds of intuitive feelings, those are, telling you that there's something not quite aligned. It's your intuitive nudge that this is not in alignment with you. So if, when you're doing something new, the way that I go about figuring out if the nervousness or potential anxiety that I feel about trying something new or putting myself out there, the way that I figure out of whether or not that is in alignment with myself is whether or not it feels expansive or constrictive. And that's just sort of how I do it. And I feel like it's been a good gauge, because there could be all kinds of things that you can do, that you can, put yourself out into the world to do. And it's up to you to know what is right for you. And this is how we get to know ourselves, simply by following that gut feeling, that intuitive feeling, that heart-centered feeling, where if there were no restrictions, no rules, no lack, no, negative beliefs going on in the back of your mind, if none of that existed, is this something that you would want? So this is how to sort of cultivate that sense of allowing, surrendering, releasing, by truly understanding what is in alignment with you. So if there's any, trouble making a decision about whether or not you should do this, take some time. Take the time it would naturally take to start working on it, potentially. See how it feels. Maybe once you get down the line, you feel, oh yeah, this is totally what I want to do. Or no, it isn't. Sometimes we don't know until we try some things. If there's outside pressure for you to perform or produce, or other people that you are accountable to, know that when you grow from a knight to a king, that you are no longer asking for permission. You're making your own rules, your own way of going about things that may very well differ, from the people you look up to, or the people who have taught you a lot, or the people whose opinions that you really value. Even the people who love us the most, they may, they can only see so far. They can't truly see what is right for us, each individually. We can only know what is right for us ourselves. So when graduating from a knight to a king, just think about embodying what a king would need, or what they would do. They would be making difficult decisions. They would know what to prioritize. They would know when to swing their sword and when not to. They would be listening to the intuitive signs around them. Here with the King of Swords, we've got the raven, the dragonfly, the bat, the owl. So there's a lot of wisdom around the King of Swords. So knowing when to consult others, knowing when to take that information and make the decision for yourself. And this kind of aligns with the Hierophant as well, right? We're looking at a leader. We're looking at someone really in tune with themselves and, of course, with spirit. So I'm getting the feeling of this new moon energy that the release may impact the release of a going forward with this new path, surrendering to it, basically releasing the things that are keeping you from it. This may have an impact on your family life, on your home life, on your close relationships. But just know that, with any transformation, if it's positively serving you, if it's something that brings you closer to your higher self and closer to who you are, the people who encourage you, the people who will want you to be your true self, the people who will want to see you expand, those are the people who are going to stay in your life. And sometimes there's a lot of situations or relationships that have to go when we make major transformation. This may take time. It may be something you've already thought about. But the idea here is that we continue to expand ourselves. I mean, that's why we're here, to expand our souls, to grow and to learn and to elevate. And we don't necessarily need to leave everyone behind, but in a sense, in order for you to make the leap and to allow this discomfort that allows you to expand and be excited for yourself and to truly express yourself and to be in alignment with yourself, it's going to take people around you who will understand your need for solitude, or new ways of doing things, or extra time that you might need to cultivate this new project or this new direction. They may need to understand if you've got differing ideas, or if you're growing out of particular belief systems or negative thought patterns. So it's going to challenge the people around you. And I just want to bring some sense of normalcy to that. It's never easy, but it is normal in this path. When you expand, it challenges everything in your life. And just like the butterfly in the cocoon, it doesn't just break open. The butterfly has to break it open itself. And that can create a lot of discomfort, but in that struggle is where the butterfly breaks free and becomes its beautiful, expansive self. Okay, so I'm going to get a couple cards of guidance. Moon energy guidance. Moon energy guidance for this new moon, January 2nd, 2022. What is the guidance for the collective for this new moon in Capricorn, January 2nd, 2022? One card, please. Thank you. Release. One more card, please. What is the guidance for the collective for this new moon in Capricorn, January 2nd, 2022? What is the guidance? What is the collective guidance for the new moon in Capricorn, January 2nd, 2022? Thank you. I love it when the cards speak to what is been spoken of already. So, so as I was saying, here with this card, release. This is talking about the waning crescent moon, so we are talking about the second phase of manifestation. After the full moon, the moon becomes smaller, and that's the waning phase. So we're talking about releasing things that prohibit us from achieving what we're trying to manifest. And doing so here, she's got an open heart. There's all these butterflies, allowing the transformation. We've got the number 27 reducing to the number 9. So we're looking at the end of the phase, looking at the end of what was, so that we can bring about the transformation for the new. So allowing the release, whatever is holding us back from bringing in our manifestations, bringing in the desires that we want, bringing in who we are, our expansion, our expression. Okay, and over here it says, you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. So we're talking about a new moon here on the new moon. And in Cancer, you and your loved ones are safe. So the guidance here is that as difficult as this may be of a transformation, of a change, and the things that may freak people out around you, or they don't understand it, or they're not in alignment with it as you would be. Everyone is at their own place, and it's not good or bad. It's just where they are. And just know that you and your loved ones are safe. When you grow, it paves the way for other people to grow as well. And the way we do that is just by doing it wholeheartedly, and really from a place of sovereignty, because you can't expand for other people. You can't change or not, you can't grow or not grow for other people. You have to do things because it's something that calls to you, or that doesn't call to you. That whatever decision you make, like I said earlier in the reading, you are the only person who knows right for you. And other people may know you really well. They may have all kinds of advice, and it might be very good advice. But does it resonate with you? Is it in alignment with who you're trying to grow into? So it might resonate with who you are today, but does it align with who you're wanting to expand into? And allowing for others to, respectfully be where they're at. It may mean that, you spend less time with certain folks, or you just interact with them in a different way. For some people, it is a process of release and letting go of them as well. But there are different ways to do it, and each person and each situation is going to be different. And just know that when it says you and your loved ones are safe, we're talking about for the highest good of all. So understanding that when you grow, when you do your thing, when you express yourself in your authentic way, it allows other people to take those same steps, if they so choose. And in that way, they are safe. They're doing what they need to do. And perhaps you're inspiring some of them. And perhaps you're challenging some of them. But either way, everything's going to come about in the way that it should. So you just keep doing your thing. And have understanding for those around you, that they're at their own place and time, that you can, send them all the love and do what you need to do. You do you. All right, so that is your reading for the new moon in Capricorn, January 2nd, 2022. If this resonated, please do let me know. Thank you for supporting this channel with your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. May all of your intentions for this lunar cycle be realized and your blessings be plenty in this new year. I'm thanking you all for connecting with me today, and I'm sending you all grounding energy and love. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading, and I will see you at my next one.